Hey Yankees fans, welcome to Yankees Rumors and News, your go-to spot for the latest buzz and updates about our team. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a scoop. The Yankees are entering the 2026 season in a strange position, one that feels both familiar and unsettling. Familiar because the franchise is still built on star power and expectations, and unsettling because the offseason has been unusually quiet for a team that typically makes waves. When the calendar flips, while the rest of the American League East has been busy, the Yankees have mostly watched from the sidelines. Re-signing a few role players and making a single notable trade for Marlins lefty Ryan Weathers. It is not that the Yankees are inactive by choice, but rather that they are navigating a crossroads. They have a roster that still looks like it can compete, yet they are also facing the reality of holes that need to be filled. And they may have to rely on their farm system more than usual. That reliance is not a sign of weakness, but it is a sign of a new era, one where the next wave of Yankees talent may not be imported, but rather developed from within. The AL East is not waiting for the Yankees to catch up. The Blue Jays have strengthened themselves through free agency, and the teams that finished behind New York last season, like the Orioles and Red Sox, have been aggressive in improving their rosters. In other words, the division is getting faster, deeper, and more dangerous, while the Yankees have kept their wallet mostly closed. This creates a pressure cooker situation if New York wants to remain a contender. They cannot afford to fall behind early because the margin for error in the East is shrinking. The Yankees have always been a team that operates under the belief that they can win in any season. But this offseason has forced them to confront the truth that winning may require internal solutions, and that the future might be shaped by prospects more than big-name signings. The bullpen is one of the most immediate concerns, because several key contributors from last year have departed in free agency. Luke Weaver and Devin Williams both signed with the Mets, leaving behind the void of late-inning stability. These are not just pieces that the Yankees can casually replace, because they were part of a structure that helped the team close out games. The bullpen is a delicate ecosystem, and losing two arms that performed in high-leverage situations creates a ripple effect. The Yankees can try to patch it with veteran signings, but the market is unpredictable and the returns are not always worth the investment. This is where the farm system becomes not just a luxury, but a necessity, because the organization will need fresh arms that can step in, adapt quickly, and contribute without the luxury of a gradual ramp-up. The starting rotation is also facing significant uncertainty, as injuries continue to disrupt the Yankees' plans. Jarrett Cole, the former Cy Young winner who missed the entire 2024 season due to Tommy John surgery, is not expected to return until closer to June. That is a long stretch of time for a rotation to go without its ace, and it places added weight on the remaining starters. Carlos Rodon, another veteran lefty, will also miss the start of the season after undergoing an off-season procedure on his pitching elbow to remove bone pieces and shave down a bone spur. This is not a minor setback. It is a disruption that forces the team to reconsider how they will manage innings and matchups in the early months. Clark Schmidt, who underwent Tommy John surgery last July, is also expected to return only in the second half, and even then with restrictions. The result is a rotation that will be built in pieces, with the Yankees needing to rely on depth, flexibility, and perhaps some unexpected contributions from younger arms. With the off-season clock running out, the Yankees may have to turn to their minor league system to fill roles both immediately and later in the season when injuries inevitably accumulate. That is the reality of baseball. It is a long season, and even the most prepared teams are often forced to adapt on the fly. The Yankees have the advantage of a deep farm system, one that has produced high-end talent in recent years. But the challenge is always the same. Can the organization bring these prospects along in a way that prepares them for the major leagues without rushing them, while also meeting the immediate needs of the big league club? This is the balancing act that will define the Yankees' 2026 season. And it is the reason why the question of which prospects could make an impact is so important right now. One prospect who has been rising fast and could contribute in the future, though perhaps not immediately, is Elmer Rodriguez, acquired in a trade from the Red Sox for Carlos Narvaez in 2024. Rodriguez quickly became one of the most exciting pitching prospects in the Yankees system. He pitched across 3 levels in his first season with New York, finishing with a strong showing in AAA during the playoffs. His 2025 season was impressive, a 2.58 ERA across 150 innings. With 176 strikeouts, opponents hitting just 192 against him, and only 3 home runs allowed all year. Those numbers are not just good, they are elite for a prospect at that level. Yet despite the rapid rise, his ETA for a regular major league role is still closer to 2027. The Yankees will likely want to give him a full runway, developing him carefully rather than forcing him into a big league role too early. However, the fact that he is already on the 40-man roster means he could be an easy call-up if the team finds itself in a crunch later in the season, especially if injuries hit the rotation hard. Another top prospect who has shot up the rankings is Carlos Lagrange, a big right-hander with a towering presence and an electric arm. At 6'7" and 248 pounds, Lagrange has the physical profile of a future ace, and his arsenal supports that projection. His fastball regularly touches triple digits, his slider is a wipeout pitch, and his changeup sits in the upper 80s with solid depth and movement. In 2025, he threw 120 innings, posting a 3.53 ERA with 168 strikeouts, holding opponents to a 191 batting average. Like Rodriguez, he is still young, and the Yankees will want to ensure he is fully ready before making his debut. The last thing the organization needs is to rush him and risk derailing his development. But if the Yankees can keep him on the right track, he has the potential to become a cornerstone of the rotation in the near future, and perhaps even sooner if circumstances demand it. A more realistic starting pitching option for 2026 is Brendan Beck, a 27-year-old right-hander who finally enjoyed a full professional season after a long stretch of injuries. A former second-round pick out of Stanford, Beck had his career delayed by Tommy John surgery in 2022, but he returned in 2025 with a strong showing across AA and AAA. He threw 131.1 innings, posting a 3.36 ERA with a 1.06 WHIP, and striking out 123 batters. One of his best traits is his ability to throw strikes, evidenced by a walk rate of just 6.9% and only 36 free passes all season. That kind of command is valuable in a rotation, especially when the Yankees need innings from younger arms. The one concern is his home run rate, as he gave up 12 home runs in 77 innings after being promoted to AAA. Keeping the ball down will be crucial for him, particularly in Yankee Stadium, where the ball can fly out to all fields in the heat of summer. If Beck can stay healthy and keep the ball in the park, he profiles as an ideal option for spot starts down the stretch, giving the Yankees a reliable arm that can eat innings when needed. When it comes to position players, Spencer Jones is the most likely prospect to play a significant role for the Yankees. In 2026, the former Vanderbilt product is aiming to make the opening day roster after an explosive 2025 campaign in the minors. Jones has long been known for his power, and last season he finally delivered in a way that forced his name into the conversation for a roster spot. He posted a slash line of .270 for /360 to /571, with a .930 to ops and a .153 WRC+, while also walking at a career-high rate of 11.5%. He hit 35 home runs in 116 games across AA and AAA, ranking second among all minor leaguers. The question with Jones has always been whether his contact and strikeout issues would limit him at the major league level. In his minor league career, he has struck out 554 times in 380 games, and last season he struck out at a rate of 35.4%. That kind of swing and miss can be exposed in the big leagues, but the power is undeniable. If he can improve his contact and make better swing decisions, he could become a formidable middle-of-the-lineup bat. His defensive versatility also adds to his value, as he played center field for 87 games and also spent time in both corner outfield spots. The Yankees' relationship with Cody Bellinger could also play a role in Jones' path to the majors. If Bellinger remains in New York, Jones could still compete with Jasson Dominguez for an outfield spot out of spring training, assuming neither is moved in a trade before then. But if the Yankees decide to move Bellinger, Jones could find himself with a clear path to significant playing time. The 25-year-old will turn 25 in May, and the time has come for him to earn a real shot at the major league level, whether he makes the team in New York or becomes part of a trade package. Jones is a prospect whose future will be closely watched. because his power potential is the kind of weapon the Yankees have always coveted. The Yankees also added a pitching prospect through the Rule 5 draft, selecting Cade Winquist from the Cardinals. This was the Yankees' first Rule 5 pick since 2011. And it signals that the organization is willing to take calculated risks to fill bullpen holes. Winquist was an 8th-round pick out of Texas Arlington in 2022, and he has had mixed results in his minor league career. He has posted a 4.19 ERA across 112 innings. With 219 strikeouts, last season he pitched a career-high 106 innings, recording a 3.99 ERA and 110 strikeouts. His fastball sits in the mid to upper 90s and can touch triple digits, and his curveball is his best pitch, producing a whiff rate of 46% and holding hitters to a 143 batting average. His command is also a strong tool, with a career low walk rate of 8.5% last season. While he has mostly been a starter, he projects as a high strikeout relief option for the Yankees, especially given the organization's need for bullpen depth. The Rule 5 status means he must stay on the big league roster all season or be placed on waivers and potentially return to the Cardinals if he performs well in spring training. He could start the season in the Bronx and make an immediate impact. Finally, there is Eric Reyzelman, a reliever who may not be the flashiest name in the system but could still contribute to the bullpen. In 2026, Reyzelman was a 5th-round pick out of LSU, and his early career was derailed by a cyst on his back that required multiple surgeries. After limited innings in his first to pro seasons, he broke out in 2024 with a 1.16 ERA in 38 innings across 3 levels, striking out 63 batters and holding opponents to a 136 batting average. He had a tougher time in 2025 with fewer strikeouts and more walks, as his walk rate jumped to 20.3%. His arsenal includes an upper 90s fastball with arm side run and a sweeper with elite horizontal break, plus a changeup that can be effective but lacks consistency. If he can regain the form he showed in 2024, he could be a viable bullpen option out of spring training. And even if he does not make the team initially, he could be called up when injuries inevitably strike. The Yankees are in a unique position as they head into the 2026 season. They have not been the most active team in free agency, and the division around them is growing stronger. But they also have a farm system that is capable of producing impact talent, and the organization has shown a willingness to use that talent when the need arises, whether it is a power bat like Spencer Jones, a high-ceiling arm like Carlos Lagrange, or a Rule 5 gamble like Cade Winquist. The Yankees have options. The question is whether they will be patient enough to develop these players properly, and whether they will be willing to trust them in meaningful moments. If they do, the 2026 season could become the year that the next generation of Yankee stars begins to shine, and the Bronx Bombers once again prove that their future is not built on free agency alone. If you're enjoying the updates, drop a like and let us know in the comments your thoughts on this rumor. Rumors have been swirling for weeks, whispers circulating in the corridors of baseball powerhouses. And now, the news that everyone suspected, but no one dared to confirm, is starting to take shape. The New York Yankees, always a team synonymous with ambition, tradition, and a relentless pursuit of excellence, are apparently taking the MLB by storm once again. Reports suggest that Corbin Carroll, the young prodigy who has dazzled scouts and fans alike with his combination of speed, power, and plate discipline, might be on the verge of donning the iconic pinstripes. Imagine the energy in Yankee Stadium if this speculation holds true. The crowd erupting, chants echoing through the Bronx as another chapter of baseball history potentially unfolds. Carroll is not just a prospect, he is being described as a generational talent, a player who could shift the balance of the league and possibly ignite what some insiders are already calling a new dynasty in the making. The Yankees, never shy of making bold moves, seem to be positioning themselves to dominate for years to come. And Carroll could be the linchpin of that plan. The excitement is palpable, as fans debate endlessly on forums, social media feeds explode with memes and theories, and every sports talk show host adds their own spin on the possible impact of such a signing. The mere idea that the Yankees might secure a player of Carroll's caliber has already sent shockwaves across the league, stirring anxiety in rival clubs and anticipation among the die-hard faithful. Carroll, known for his electrifying presence on the field, impeccable athleticism, and a baseball IQ that seems far beyond his years, could be the kind of player who changes the narrative around a team almost overnight. People are talking about a seamless combination of youth and strategy, a move that could redefine the Yankees' approach to building a championship roster. Speculation is that management, long criticized for sometimes being overly cautious, is finally embracing a philosophy that blends calculated risk with bold acquisitions. And Carroll fits perfectly into that vision. The Yankees have a long history of monumental signings, of players who become icons, and the suggestion that Carroll could join that pantheon is enough to make anyone's imagination run wild. Some insiders suggest that behind closed doors, meetings have been heated and fast-paced, with executives weighing the potential long-term benefits of bringing in a player whose ceiling seems limitless. The strategy seems clear: secure top-tier talent while still maintaining the core of a team capable of immediate contention. And Carroll could represent both. Imagine a lineup where veteran stars meet fresh, youthful energy, where the clubhouse buzzes with renewed intensity, and the league itself feels a palpable shift as other teams scramble to respond. Every scout, analyst, and commentator seems to have their own theory on how Carroll would integrate into the Yankees' system. From how he would bat in the heart of the order to the way his defensive prowess could transform the outfield. The speculation even extends to the intangible elements, with some suggesting that Carroll's personality and approach to the game could rejuvenate a team that has historically thrived on competitive fire and leadership in the clubhouse. This isn't just about numbers and metrics, it's about the aura, the mystique, and the sense of inevitability that surrounds the Yankees whenever they make a move of this magnitude. Some insiders have hinted at a broader vision, suggesting that the Yankees are not merely acquiring a player, they are acquiring a symbol, a beacon for a franchise that is always seeking to assert dominance in a league filled with challenges and rivalries. The murmurs about Carroll have prompted comparisons to other landmark acquisitions in baseball history, sparking heated debates about potential Hall of Fame trajectories. The blending of generational talent with organizational ambition, and the way such a move could influence young fans who aspire to see legends in the making. Social media chatter has reached fever pitch, with fans dissecting every snippet of news, every cryptic comment from front office officials, and every small signal from Carroll's camp as evidence that a seismic shift may be imminent. There are whispers that negotiations have been intense, complex, and conducted with a level of discretion that is unusual for a franchise that is often in the spotlight, suggesting that the Yankees understand the stakes and are willing to play a careful but daring game behind the scenes. Analysts have begun crafting scenarios of how Carroll could reshape not only the lineup, but the team's culture, projecting offensive explosions, defensive brilliance, and the sort of clutch performances that turn regular seasons into legendary campaigns. Rumors even suggest that this potential signing has caused a ripple effect across the league, with other franchises reconsidering strategies, scouting priorities, and even trade plans in anticipation of what the Yankees could unleash with Carroll in the fold. The magnitude of such a move goes beyond simple statistics. It's about psychology, momentum, and the signal it sends to the entire baseball world that the Yankees are not merely participating, they intend to dominate. Conversations among insiders suggest that Carroll's arrival would represent the intersection of talent, timing, and organizational vision, a perfect storm that could spark an era defined by both individual brilliance and team cohesion. There are also hints that this potential acquisition might influence younger players already within the Yankees system, offering mentorship opportunities, setting higher standards, and creating an environment where excellence is not optional but expected. In short, Carroll is rumored to be more than a player. He could become a catalyst, a cornerstone of a new dynasty, built on audacity, skill, and a relentless drive to win. Fans speculate endlessly about what the first season could look like, from the electrifying home runs to the defensive gems, and even the media frenzy that would inevitably follow. Every highlight reel, every stolen base, every pitch he faces could become part of a narrative larger than the game itself, a story of ambition, vision, and the pursuit of legacy. The MLB, always a theater of competition, could witness a dramatic reshuffling of power, with the Yankees leading the charge and Carroll at the center of it all. Some commentators even suggest that Carroll's presence could influence managerial decisions, lineup construction, and strategy in ways that ripple far beyond a single season. The excitement is infectious. Fans discuss everything from uniform numbers to potential nicknames, imagining what it would be like to witness history unfolding in real time. It's more than a rumor, it's a tantalizing possibility that captures the imagination of anyone who follows the game. From casual observers to die-hard historians of the sport, there's a sense that the Yankees, by chasing a player of Carroll's caliber, are signaling their refusal to settle for mediocrity, their commitment to sustained excellence, and their readiness to embrace both innovation and tradition in a way that few franchises have managed. Analysts and former players alike have weighed in, offering insights into what it means to acquire a talent so rare, speculating on clubhouse dynamics, batting orders, and the potential for Carroll to become a face of the franchise for a generation. Every rumor, every leak, every subtle hint from sources close to the team has fueled speculation to a point where even casual observers feel the magnitude of what could be happening. It's the kind of story that defines sports media cycles, dominating headlines, social feeds, and water cooler conversations for weeks. The sheer possibility that the Yankees could be on the cusp of a new era, spearheaded by Carroll, has sparked intense debate, blending analysis, anticipation, and pure fandom into a narrative that feels electric, almost tangible, and yet the uncertainty only adds to the allure until something is officially confirmed. Every discussion, every theory, and every prediction feels charged with a sense of possibility, a mix of hope and intrigue that is quintessentially baseball. Carroll, if he indeed joins the Yankees, would not only bring talent, but also symbolism, a representation of youth meeting ambition, skill meeting opportunity, and potential meeting an organization with a storied history and an unrelenting desire for greatness. The whispers about contracts, trade clauses, and negotiations swirl endlessly, but the central narrative remains the same. A new dynasty could be forming in the Bronx, and Corbin Carroll might be at its heart. The very idea of such a union between a historic franchise and a generational talent has already ignited discussions about records, legacies, and the future of the league itself. It's speculation in its purest, most thrilling form, the kind that makes sports journalism, fan communities, and even casual observers hold their breath in anticipation as each day passes. Every subtle movement, every media appearance, and every cryptic tweet fuels a narrative that seems almost cinematic in its scale. A storyline worthy of a documentary, a highlight reel, or even a best-selling book chronicling the rise of a new era in one of the most iconic teams in sports history. The Yankees have always been about ambition, risk, and the pursuit of excellence, and the potential arrival of Corbin Carroll encapsulates all of that in one thrilling, tantalizing package. Fans and analysts alike continue to watch, wait, and speculate, knowing that if this rumor comes true, the landscape of Major League Baseball could be transformed in ways that echo for years, shaping careers, defining legacies, and igniting passions in a way only the Yankees can. Every insider tip, every unnamed source, every calculated leak seems to reinforce the possibility that something monumental is brewing. A story that is still unfolding, still uncertain, yet undeniably electric with potential. In a world where baseball is as much about mythology as statistics, Carroll's potential addition to the Yankees reads like a script written for maximum drama, tension, and impact. A tale of youth, talent, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Whether it materializes or remains a tantalizing rumor, the speculation alone has already captured the imagination of millions. A reminder that in baseball, as in life, possibility is often as exciting as certainty. And for the Yankees, whispers of Corbin Carroll represent more than a potential signing. They represent hope, vision, and the intoxicating promise of a new dynasty waiting to be born. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with every Yankees rumor and news. See you in the next video.